What if I told you that right now, somewhere in a factory, a fire is burning that has not gone out in 11 years, not 11 days, not 11 months, 11 years? If that fire ever stops, the entire factory could be destroyed in hours. And yet, inside that fire, ordinary sand is being turned into something you probably touched today without even thinking about it. A glass bottle. It looks so simple, so ordinary. You throw it away without a second thought. But what happens before that bottle reaches your hands is one of the most intense, most dangerous, and most fascinating processes in modern manufacturing. By the end of this video, you will never look at a glass bottle the same way again. Because behind that clear, smooth surface is a story of extreme heat, split-second timing, and machines so precise they can catch a mistake in less time than it takes you to blink. This is the hidden world inside a glass bottle factory. And it all begins with something you would never expect. Sand. Not the golden sand you find at a beach. Special sand. Mined from deep underground, chosen because it is almost pure. This sand is mixed with two other simple ingredients. Soda ash, which helps the sand melt at a lower temperature, and limestone, which makes the final glass strong and durable. But here's where it gets interesting. Factories also add something you might not expect. Broken glass. It's called cullet, and it comes from old bottles and jars that have already been recycled. Cullet melts faster than raw sand. It saves energy. It saves money. And it means that glass, unlike plastic, can be recycled again and again without ever losing quality. In fact, a glass bottle can be recycled infinitely, forever. The same glass could theoretically exist for thousands of years, reborn again and again into new bottles. But before any of that can happen, these raw materials face something brutal. Fire. Not ordinary fire. A furnace burning at nearly 1500 degrees Celsius. It is hot enough to melt steel. The sand, soda ash, limestone, and cullet are poured into this furnace, and within hours, something remarkable happens. Solid grains of sand disappear completely, and in their place, a river of glowing orange liquid begins to move. This is molten glass, thick, bright, almost alive. And this is where the danger begins. The furnace inside a glass factory cannot simply be turned off at the end of the day like an oven. Once it is lit, it must stay burning continuously, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for years at a time. Why? Because if that furnace ever cools down completely, the glass inside would harden and crack the entire structure from within. Repairing a fully cooled furnace can cost millions of dollars and take months. So engineers watch it constantly, day and night. Every single day of the year, including holidays. Nobody can afford to look away. But keeping the fire alive is only the beginning of the challenge. Because now, this glowing river of liquid glass has to become something exact. Something with a precise shape, a precise weight, and a precise thickness. And it has only seconds to do it. Deep inside the factory, the molten glass flows out of the furnace through a narrow channel. As it moves, it is cut into small glowing chunks called gobs. Each gob is a lump of liquid glass, roughly the size of a fist, and it is falling through the air at an almost unbelievable speed. Below it waits one of the most impressive machines in modern manufacturing. It's called the IS machine, short for individual section machine. And it can produce hundreds of bottles every single minute. Think about that. While you are reading this sentence, that machine may have already made a dozen bottles. Each glowing gob drops into a mold. Compressed air is blown into it, forcing the soft glass to expand and take shape, just like blowing up a balloon. In seconds, formless liquid becomes a bottle. But here's what almost nobody realizes. At this stage, the glass is still incredibly hot, around 600 degrees Celsius. If it touched skin, it would cause severe burns instantly. I mean, it is fragile. Dangerously fragile. If this glowing bottle cools too quickly, even by accident, it can crack from the inside without any warning. That means workers and machines must move fast, but never careless. One tiny miscalculation in temperature and an entire batch could be ruined in seconds. So the newly formed bottle is immediately sent into another critical stage, one most people have never even heard of. It's called the annealing layer. This is a long tunnel, almost like a slow-moving oven, where the bottle is carefully reheated and then cooled down at an extremely controlled pace. Why does this matter so much? Because if glass cools unevenly, invisible stress builds up inside it. A bottle could look completely normal, perfect even, and still shatter without warning days later, just from being picked up or set down on a table. The annealing process removes that danger. It relaxes the glass, slowly and precisely, until it becomes strong enough to survive years of daily use. This single step can take 20 minutes to over an hour, depending on the bottle's size and thickness. And after everything the glass has already survived, the extreme heat, the sudden shaping, the terrifying speed, it now faces its final test. Inspection. Because even now, after all this effort, some bottles are flawed, and a flawed bottle can be dangerous, especially if it will later hold food, medicine, or a carbonated drink under pressure. Modern factories use high-speed cameras and sensors that can scan a bottle for cracks, bubbles, or uneven walls in a fraction of a second. These machines are so precise that they catch defects far smaller than anything the human eye could ever notice. If a bottle fails, it isn't thrown away and wasted. Instead, it is crushed and sent right back into the furnace to be melted down and reborn again. Nothing goes to waste. Nothing is truly gone forever, but the bottles that pass inspection. They move on to their final transformation. Labeling, packaging, loading, within hours. A bottle that began as ordinary sand could already be sitting on a store shelf, ready to hold water, juice, sauce, or medicine. Think about that journey. Sand, melted at temperatures hotter than lava, shaped in seconds by a machine moving faster than the human eye can follow, cooled with careful precision to prevent invisible cracks, checked by lasers sharper than human sight, and finally sent out into the world, ready to be used and one day recycled all over again. And here's the part that makes this entire process even more remarkable. Glass is one of the only materials on Earth that can be recycled endlessly without losing strength or clarity, unlike plastic, which breaks down a little more each time it's reused. Glass can go through this exact process again and again forever. That old jam jar in your recycling bin, it could become a brand new bottle within just 30 days. That is the hidden power of this industry. It isn't just about making bottles. It's about creating something that never truly disappears. Every glass bottle you've ever held has likely existed in another form before. Maybe it was a jar, maybe a window, maybe even a bottle from decades ago, melted down and reborn as something completely new. So the next time you pick up a glass bottle, pause for a second. Remember the fire that never goes out. Remember the glowing gob of glass falling through the air, shaped into form in less than a second. Remember the invisible danger of stress inside the glass, quietly removed through hours of careful, controlled cooling. And remember that this ordinary object, sitting in your hand, survived a journey more intense and more precise than almost anything else you use in daily life. It came from sand. It survived fire hotter than lava. And now, it's simply waiting for its story to continue, again and again, forever. If this story changed the way you see something as simple as a glass bottle, imagine what else is happening behind the scenes of the ordinary things around you. Let me know in the comments what everyday object you want to see explained next. If you enjoyed this journey inside the glass factory, hit like and subscribe for more hidden stories from the world of manufacturing. Because sometimes, the most incredible stories are hiding in plain sight.